Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is me Mods, and in today's video we have this PS4. As you guys can see in the next frame, this PS4 right here. We will be cleaning its cooling fan. A dirty cooling fan causes a lot of overheating issues, and this is what the PS4 Slim is notorious for. So we will be covering that in today's tutorial. We will be opening the PS4 and we'll be doing a deep clean. So for this process, you'll need a few things. First of all, a set of screwdrivers, as you guys can see here. Let me just open them up and show you. So it's good to have a lot of variety because the screws in when you open the PS4, they're pretty different. So yeah, you need different types. So this thing right here, we call it spirit in my country, but it's pretty much similar to isopropyl alcohol. And this thing right here, this thing pumps out air. You can use whatever, but just make sure the fan doesn't spin too fast. Okay, so now let's get down to the actual dissection. So you guys see this part right here. This is where we're going to be applying a little bit of pressure upwards, just enough until we hear a clicking sort of sound, or just a popping sound basically. Yeah, we just pull it back gently and our PS4 will be open, as you guys can see. Okay, so now that our PS4 is open, there's two ways to clean the fan. One is the first method is the easy method, which is we use this air pumping thing and just pump air around it. You know, it's sort of a very basic cleaning. You know, it won't really do much, but if you can't really open your PS4, then it does pretty well. And the other method is to open the steel frame and just clean it entirely. So as you guys can see, I brought my screwdriver set, and here are all the screws that we're gonna have to remove so that we could take the steel lid off. So yeah, this is me taking all of the screws apart, as you guys can see, sort of like a montage. So yeah, just make sure you remember which ones belong to which spaces. Yeah, you don't really need wrong screws in the wrong places. So yeah, just keep them somewhere where you could remember. Okay, so now that we've taken the screws out from the front portion, now there's 4 screws in the back here. So yeah, we're just gonna have to remove these as well so that we could pull the power supply up a little bit, and then we could just slightly, just easily take the steel plate off because it's somewhat nudged in between the power supply. So yeah, this steel plate thingy, this also comes off, and there's a bunch of more screws you have to be careful of. You also have to remove them. Okay, so as you guys can see, this steel plate thing, this also comes off, and now we can move on over to the next step. Okay, now over to the next step, we're going to have to pull the power supply just to make enough room so that we could pull the steel plate off. I forgot one screw right here, so yeah, just make sure to take out all the screws that you guys can see. Some screws, if you haven't opened your PS4 before, some screws have this black sort of covering on them, so you're gonna have to remove them as well. Okay, now as you guys can see, I'm pulling the power supply. Yeah, I struggled a lot in this portion because I usually do this with my brother, and he holds the power supply while I pull out the steel plate. So yeah, I was struggling a lot doing this solo, but yeah, in the end I managed to do it. You just have to nudge it, with a screwdriver or whatever you could find. There's often these wedge thingies that you could use to help sort of nudge the power supply a little, so you could pull out the steel plate. So yeah, as you guys can see, I pulled the steel plate out, and now the entire innards, you could say, of the PS4 is visible. The fan and the disc reader, everything is visible. Okay, so now we could get down to actually cleaning the cooling fan. So as you guys can see, I have this air pumping thing, just to blow out all the excess air. Make sure to also clean the heatsink. This is the real troublemaker right here, the one that turns your PS4 into a jet engine. So yeah, the heatsink is the real culprit. Oftentimes dirt and gunk gets caked up in front of the in front of the heatsink, which sort of causes this overheating issues. I have cleaned my PS4 previously, so it's not as dirty as it was back before. You could also use some Q-tips. You could, sort of brush out the insides of the cooling fan. You could also clean the heatsink with it as well. If you guys have a toothbrush, you could do that as well. Anything works really. Just make sure you don't damage anything. Don't be too rough on the fan or basically all the appliances. So yeah, as you guys can see, this is the PS4 close-up of the PS4. As you guys can see, the fan, and that's the heatsink right there, and we have the disc reader on the side as well. So yeah, just make sure this is clean, and now we could move on over to the assembly basically. So first we're going to start with putting the steel plate back. I again struggled a lot in this section because you have to hold the power supply. Yeah, so you have to do it properly, make sure everything is on its place, it's not misplaced. So yeah, usually I do this with my brother and we could do it easily, but yeah, I struggled a lot in this section, as you guys can see. But with much trial and error, I managed to put it back again in its place. So after that's done, we're gonna have to put all the screws back into their correct places and pretty much close our PS4 and put the top cover on. So yeah, let's just do that. Okay, so now that everything's done, we'll take the top cover, we will put it on top and then push it slightly from the back, and then we will just press the front portion, just to make sure we hear a clicking sound, and just make sure everything's closed properly. Double check all the sides, the front, and everything. And there we go. This was a thorough deep cleaning of our cooling fans and the heatsink, and now our PS4 will no longer sound like a jet engine and will have good cooling, and we'll just put everything back in its place. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I was unable to upload videos because I had these series of exams, so yeah, I was busy with that. But now that I'm done with everything, could focus more on making YouTube videos. And do let me know in the comment section what more tutorials would you guys like to see on. And yeah, this was Mods. Peace out.